If your business is growing, but you're secretly running on fumes, then today's episode is just for you. My name is Christina May, and today we are going to talk about Spencer Teel and Teel Construction and his breakout moment that came from burnout. He talks about starting in his family business when he was just 14 years old, which means, you're in the business, you're sweeping floors, you're doing everything. If you've been part of a family business, you know what that's like. But since then, it's been 2+ decades, and now he is running the business, and he hit a wall. During COVID, he had a moment, a shower moment that he talks about, where everything just felt like he needed a sign. And you know what? Today, he's going to talk about that breakout moment when he did get that sign. Specifically, we're going to talk about a book called Vivid Vision and how it helped his company return to purpose, which is built to serve. So if you're looking for results and kind of stuck in a shower moment where you think, gosh, I just need something to break through, let's talk about visioning, let's talk about manifesting, and let's talk about having a shower thought and making it turn into a company turnaround. That's today on The Breakout Moment. This episode is sponsored by Genesis AEC, Steel Toe Communications, and this episode is also sponsored by Illuminate. Well, welcome to The Breakout Moment.
So happy to be here.
Happy to be here. I am really excited to hear about your journey. I'm more excited that we get to talk about how there was something that you read that was impactful. And then, because so many of us read so many books, and I don't know about you, but so I'm just nope, this isn't going to work for me, or
have to find one that clicks.
Right. You have to find one that clicks. So I'm really, really interested in talking about the book, talking about your company, talking about how this really transformed things for you, and especially when it transformed things for you. So now that I've unbelievably teed this up with a little bit of anticipation. Sure. So tell us just a little bit about Teel Construction, the short journey, your journey.
Perfect. Yep.
And then we'll talk about this book that everybody wants to hear about.
Awesome. Love it. So Teel is a 39-year-old commercial general contractor based in Fairfax, Virginia. And trace our roots back to the mid-'80s when my father, Parker, started the business. So I'm second generation. I've been in the company for going on 21 years.
Wow. And
it's been a journey from the ground up. Worked as a laborer, assistant superintendent, PM, VP, president, now president, CEO.
So he put you to work really early.
14 years old. Yeah, I was pushing a broom and learning, grit and hard work and how that leads to gratitude and success. And that hard work ethic was instilled in me certainly through my dad at a young age. So the company is, again, Mid-Atlantic based and focused. We have a satellite office that we just opened down the street in Frederick.
Yeah.
And have a senior PM down in Tampa, Florida, trying to get our southeast region churning. So
little less snow down there.
Yeah, less snow, thank goodness. And the company's been built through relationships with some really great clients. We have a 92% repeat and referred client rate. So once we find a client that aligns with our strategy and focus, try to do the best job we can to keep them for life.
That's amazing. Yeah. I love that. I love that generational. So many of us are influenced by somebody in our family, or especially, in this industry, in the trades and construction. My grandfather was an electrical contractor. I'm obviously not an electrical contractor, but I got bit by the bug.
Yeah, it's in your blood.
Yep, it's in your blood. So
this took some electrical engineering to put together.
Yeah, seriously. Yeah. It's I always joke with everybody when they come in, they're like, it's like you redecorated the living room again. It's like, all right, well, yeah, but yeah, it definitely does. It definitely does. So talk to me about, you've seen it all from 14 to now.
Seen a lot.
You've seen a lot. You've seen a lot. Talk to me about specifically discovering this book, and that became this huge moment for you.
Sure.
And especially the time in which
for sure
you found it.
So rewind back to 2021, all of us were struggling with, our time in COVID, right in the throes of it. And I was burnt out, and luckily I had found an advisory group called C12, and it's just a peer group that comes together on a monthly basis. And we talk about business challenges, and everyone helps provide solutions. And one of the guys on my group introduced me to Cameron Herold's book, Vivid Vision.
Mm-hmm.
And the context of it, in a nutshell, is for leaders of an organization to go and do a mind map and try to visualize what his or her company looks like in 3 years' time. You take that mind map back and you write out in descriptive detail how your business looks and feels, so that someone who's reading this could really visualize themselves being in there in that 3 year period.
It's almost like you're manifesting. I mean, not to get like woo-woo about it.
No,
but
that's
yeah.
exactly right. Yeah.
Yeah.
So the idea is you share this with your organization, you share this with your vendors, your subcontractors. For us, our partners, like our banking and surety relationships, to give them a deeper insight of where the company's going.
Mm-hmm.
And not necessarily how we're going to get there, but a picture of, in 3 years' time, this is ideally where we want to be.
That's amazing. And like, what was the process of that? Like, it's one thing as a leader to, you have your vision,
Sure.
but, building that inclusivity with your team and getting them to buy into it and contribute to it, I feel is where a lot of us get stuck.
For sure.
Right? And creating that safe environment to do that. What did that feel like for you guys?
So, to rewind a bit, we've had a strategic plan. We're an EOS company that was inspired through Jim Collins' book, Good to Great.
Yep.
And
EOS, for anyone who is not in the know, it's basically an operating system.
Correct.
For a business.
Entrepreneurial operating system. Yeah.
Yep.
So you what comes with that is a really foundational strategic plan. You've got a 3-year, and a 1-year plan. But putting that on paper without descriptive detail, with just numbers and revenue goals or employee headcount, that doesn't provide a lot of meaning. So again, using this vision as a bit more descriptive detail really helps create that spark. So when we launched it in March of 2022, we did it at an all hands quarterly meeting, and had our team stand up and read, a couple sentences or a paragraph from the vision. And it was incredible to see the immediate buy-in and excitement that the team really needed. Especially coming out of that time, they wanted like an injection of adrenaline, and that was like a shot to the arm. That's what really delivered it. So,
do you think was there something to do with the timing of the vision, with the timing of kind of where we were at the time?
Oh, for sure.
That made this just so much more impactful than maybe it would have been if we had just done it now or in 2019 or another time period.
Well, I think, taking a bit of a personal step back and reflection as leaders of organizations, at least I had the tendency to wear some of my emotions on my sleeve. So when the team could sense that I was burnt out, that probably had, I won't say a cancerous effect, but probably a negative impact on some of the team without me really fully recognizing that and knowing it. So
when did you recognize that?
When did I recognize it?
Yeah, when did you recognize? Like, I knew you probably recognized you were burnt out, but when did you recognize that was impacting the team?
I think my wife probably called me out. I know she did.
They're good at that.
Yeah, she's fantastic, and she, she saw this general sense of unhappiness and lack of fulfillment in my life, and she just was very candid and saying, "Hey, this is impacting not only me and the family, but I'm sure your team."
Yeah.
And that's when I sought out some help from my advisory board. Got this book, and it really helped me formalize, my thoughts. I had this vision of what the business looked like, but didn't ever have
Yeah.
that ability to really translate that to people to really get that understanding. So
Well, and I think it's hard for us to do, as leaders, as organizations, we spend all these times in spreadsheets and numbers, and you keeping the lights on, right? At the end of the day,
sure,
as leaders of organizations, I mean, we got a really basic job description, move obstacles out of the way, and I
yeah,
find opportunities.
for sure.
And you live in a spreadsheet,
Yeah.
And whether or not you naturally gravitate towards the human side of it or not, that part of the job never goes away.
Oh, for sure. And that was a real important part of the vision, was that realization that it's not just living in numbers on a spreadsheet, right?
Right.
Really focusing in on our purpose, which is built to serve, is our motto, why we exist. So it's we to serve our clients, provide opportunities for our people, and support for the communities we're building. Excuse me.
Yeah.
And everything that the vision revolves around is our people, and they are the ones that make everything a reality. So if you live beyond that spreadsheet mantra and focus and change the narrative to more of a people first approach, the spreadsheet takes care of itself and the numbers take care of themselves, and that's where I think true success really comes from. Yeah,
I think that's a really interesting takeaway for people, because I think they a lot look at it in the opposite way. The spreadsheet will take care of the people. If I provide the revenue, if I provide, you ever heard the term money solves problems? Creates problems too.
Yep.
But I think taking that and turning that on its head, is a different way for someone to look at it and go like, yes, the math has to math, right? But if taking care of my people, then the spreadsheet takes care of itself.
For
but
sure.
Do you think the key component of that is because they're taking ownership now of that spreadsheet, so to speak, not just leadership?
Yeah, I think if you have an environment where people feel truly appreciated, supported, and are encouraged that their success leads directly to the company's success, I think that's where the results are really going to speak for themselves. And I credit a lot of that breaking point, that turning point on both sides to that book, and again, really honing in on our purpose and people first approach. So.
When you guys were pulling together the purpose, from the outside in, a lot of times our purposes, our mission, our vision, they sound very cliche.
Yeah, for sure.
Right?
Yeah.
I mean, everybody can say, I care about my people, I care about my community.
Yeah.
For you, and it has been such a massive impact, and I want to talk about that here in a minute, on your business. Talk to me about, obviously you have earlier adopters, but, getting an entire company to buy in on that culturally, I think is where a lot of people get stuck, especially on the purpose side of it. Is there anything there that you can share through that journey that you went through with your team? Because obviously that core has created success for the company where you are now.
So before Cameron Harold's book, back in 2021, like before my breaking point, I prayed in the shower, Lord, you got to give me a sign. Like I'm at my wit's end. I need something to really reinforce why I'm here. Got out of the shower, flipped on the TV, and no joke, the first thing that comes on is a built to serve commercial featuring Dodge Rams built to serve line of pickup trucks for first responders and veterans. And it was like it was God's sign to me that this is why the company exists, to serve others. So that component has always been part of our company's DNA, crediting my dad, really living by our take on the golden rule, the platinum rule, doing unto others as they would have them do unto you. So really reverse the the table
Reverse
a little bit
it a little, yeah.
and understand what motivates others and then act on it. So it took that to really provide that clarity to our people. So I think, to your question, it was a natural, again, reinforcement to what we already had, just in a very clear and concise manner. So I think we just naturally got buy-in once that all fell into place, was outlined in the vision, and components of the vision really all just help feed into that philosophy through programs like Teel Construction University, TCU, getting our training platform together over the course of those 3 years, built and out to the team to really support their learning and growth in the business. So,
yeah.
Does that answer your question?
No, it
Yeah.
totally answers
Okay.
my question. I think something that I would wanted to pick up on, that you said too is, the vision kind of brought everybody together. Reflecting back on when you were first, bringing this into the team, getting buy-in on the team, what were some of the first signs that you saw? I think you talk about Teel University,
Sure.
that's a 3-year process, but what were some of I think sometimes we get a little lost in the sauce, so to speak,
Yeah.
and you need, like, to your point, a sign, like, I keep going, like, I'm doing this.
Yeah.
Like, what were some of the early signs that you saw, like, yeah, I'm on the right path?
The initial immediate reaction of excitement was energizing and reinforcing to me that this was a good thing that we did. But I think more so like the cohesion and team dynamic and sort of rowing in the same direction as an organization. Everyone now had that clear view of where the company was going. So a lot more alignment.
Mm-hmm.
So,
Tactically, how do you fold that in? So, like, employee reviews, or like, what are some of the tactical ways that you make sure that you guys stay in alignment with the vision?
Like
in the day-to-day.
That's a really good question. Just by practicing what we preach.
Yeah.
People are recruited and evaluated based off of their alignment of our core principles.
Right.
And I think those have always been a guiding source for the company, again, which really drive and fill up to the built to serve purpose. So I don't think I answered your question very well.
No, I think that's a great answer. I
So.
think that's, we talk about when we're hiring somebody, or even with clients, right? Customers, if you're not in alignment in how you do business, how you treat others, it's not going to work well.
For sure.
Right?
Yeah.
So, your vision, and your core values as a company, and you're, hiring somebody, you want to make sure that their values are in, alignment with yours.
Absolutely.
And if they're not, it's not going to be a good fit for either one of you. So
Yeah.
I think that's actually a really good takeaway for anybody, is to, don't just hire for the skill set, or the personality, right? We all have heard of personality hires, but
for sure.
hire for what your values, your culture fit.
too.
But we call it culture,
Yeah.
but it's really about value.
Yeah,
For sure.
So part of our offer letters have a contingency that they are aligned,
Amazing.
that they've read the vision and are on board with where the company's going.
I think that's a great takeaway right there. I think that's it, that nugget, to include your vision as part of your hiring process, and make sure
absolutely.
people sign off on it.
Yep,
For
yep.
sure. So real quick, give us like that gut, what you guys have had so much growth since then. Talk about the growth that you had since implementing
so just,
this.
Going back to like the balance sheet and spreadsheet.
Back into those spreadsheets. We got out, now get back in.
So we had 65 people on the day that we issued that first vision back in 2022. We had booked about $55 million in revenue in 21, and that next year it shot up another $20 million, and this year we're expected to do over $100 million with we've got 93 people right now. So
Congratulations.
it's been I won't say meteoric growth in any way, but organic and very controlled and healthy growth for the company.
And is that growth, does it actually reflect that vision that you've manifested?
Oh, for sure.
There you go.
All of these incredible policies and tools that we now have in place that help distinguish Teel from our competitors that were inspired from that vision are lived out every day. Donating our first change order fee to charity, volunteer time off, our director of community, our zero punch list Hall of Fame. Like, these are all factors that really help set us apart.
I love that.
Yeah.
That's definitely,
Me too.
that's definitely a moment. That is definitely a moment.
Very proud of where the company, has come, our growth, but even more excited for what the future holds. So
And you get to manifest what that looks like too.
Exactly. Yes.
Well, awesome. Well, thank you for coming on and sharing
Thanks again
that
for
with
having
us today. I think everybody should pick up a copy of this book.
Oh, for sure. It's a must read for any leader of an organization, but even you could take it on a personal level and chart out how you see your family dynamic changing and growing over that 3-year period, and it's really powerful stuff.
That's amazing. Well,
Thanks
thank you.
for having me.
Thank you. This episode is sponsored by Genesis AEC. Genesis AEC, where science meets the built environment. As an ENR number 5 ranked firm, we provide a single point of accountability for life sciences and advanced manufacturing. We integrate architecture, engineering, and construction with specialized CQV, asset management, and sustainability to deliver high-performance facilities nationwide. This episode is also sponsored by Steel Toe Communications. Steel Toe Communications builds marketing from the field up, using real projects, real crews, and real results. They help construction owners attract the right people, tighten up their messaging, and build long-term trust with marketing that reflects how their company actually operates, not something pulled from a template. And this episode is also sponsored by Illuminate. Illuminate empowers businesses with AI-driven marketing, revenue operations, and CRM implementation and training to drive sales growth and strengthen customer engagement. If your business is navigating the messy middle and you're ready to grow with purpose, with a partner that understands B2B business marketing and operations, visit illuminate.com to connect.